I know that Rings of Power has been over for a few weeks, and for the most part, there's not really much more to say about the show. There really isn't. Except for one small little detail. Now we can talk about the show's actual ratings. Now, the media went on and on and on about how this show was a hit. It got so many people to watch it. Like, haha, take that. Trolls, we got you. But they only ever talked about the first 2 episodes. They talked about those quite a bit. Wanted you to know that those were hits and that everybody was watching. But there was never any discussion about the episodes that followed it. And I was always curious to how the show would perform after those first 2 episodes, which were extremely long, especially the first one, and very, very boring. This show had an audience fall off while it was running. House of the Dragon, its main competitor, never had that problem because word of mouth on that show was good. Show where literally just people at a table talking is more interesting than a 90-minute episode of Rings of Power. We now have some answers to how this show is actually performing, and it's not good. In fact, just 2 weeks after the season final, it fell off the top charts at Nielsen completely, which is embarrassing for a show like this. What that says is nobody went back and rewatched it. A lot of people, after the season is over, they'll go back if they really liked it, and they'll binge the season again. Nobody was doing that with Rings of Power. When it was over, even the audience that stuck with it abandoned the show. Like, oh, God, it's over. Let's go watch some other mindless shit. This show has got to be the billion-dollar mistake. So I highly doubt that Amazon's getting what they want out of it. But, of course, they're going to spin it as a win no matter what happens with the ratings. They'll find a way to spin this as a win because it needs to win. Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power completely fell off of Nielsen's top 10 charts just 2 weeks after the show's final premiered. The 8th and final episode of Lord of the Rings of Power, released on October 14th. The show raked in 1.137 billion minutes and placed second on Nielsen's overall list behind Netflix's The Watcher. You can see it right here. The series would completely fall off of Nielsen's overall list a week after its season finale. And it's gone right there. That's 1 week. However, it did appear still in Nielsen's original ranking. It placed 5th with a total of 570 million minutes viewed. Interestingly, it fell behind Netflix's Dahmer, which released all 10 of its episodes on September 21st in one go. Dahmer raked up 599 million minutes viewed according to Nielsen. Yeah, they released that all at once, and it still managed to stay ahead of Rings of Power, which was releasing weekly that entire time. Probably because people were going back and rewatching Dahmer, just a guess. And the fact that you had people telling others to go watch it. So they're watching it. They're saying, go watch this. Word of mouth. Word of mouth is very, very popular. It was a very, very powerful tool. And if you don't have it, you end up like Rings of Power. This show's over. Nobody's going back and saying, watch this show. 1 week later, and 2 weeks following the premiere of the season finale, The Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power fell off of Nielsen's original chart. So it's not even on the original chart anymore. That's awful. It was beat by the ever-declining Andor series on Disney+, which saw its viewership numbers decline to 385 million. It was also beat by Dahmer again. Dahmer continued to maintain an audience, albeit its viewership declined to 354 million minutes viewed. That's embarrassing. That's really embarrassing. And all of this was talked about. Like, this show was hailed as the greatest thing ever. And it's probably the most embarrassing thing ever, particularly for Amazon. Amazon spent $1 billion on this, and it's not even on the charts anymore. It's not even on the original chart. That's sad. That's really bad. Dahmer is still on that chart. Dahmer hasn't had a new episode in months. But people are still watching it as of this date on the chart. But it's funny to me. After it's all done with Rings of Power, it fell completely off. Look at these shows on here. The Watcher. All the episodes were released at once, I believe. Great British Baking Show. Unsolved Mysteries. The Handmaid's Tale. Andor's on there. That's really bad. What are they going to do here? You know, they were so ecstatic about those ratings. They were going on and on about those first 2 episodes. Oh, yeah. Everyone's watching the show. Everyone loves it. It's so great, so amazing, so awesome. They all tuned out. Where's the headlines on that? You notice nobody's talking about it except Bounding into Comics. Is anybody else talking about it? No. If I were to look up Rings of Power right now, it'd be some journalist somehow pulling some fan theory bullshit out of their ass and talking about how, second season's going to be this and that. Will there be anything about how this show is falling off of charts and how everyone's already completely forgotten about it? No. Nope. They won't talk about that. They won't talk about that. By the way, House of the Dragon, still on the overall chart. I don't know why it's not on the original chart. I don't know why it's not on that one, but it's still on overall. I think this would have been 1 week after the show had ended, because I think they had 1 or 2 episodes. It'd be interesting to see if Game of Thrones House of the Dragon falls off of the chart after 2 weeks. I think this would have been the last episode of that season. I could be wrong. I don't remember exactly when that show ended. But it'll be interesting to see if that show falls off the charts. I bet you it doesn't. Bet you it doesn't. But I'm not surprised I'm not surprised Rings of Power did, because the show is awful. So this is embarrassing. Somebody's going to lose their job. There's already rumors that the showrunners are going to lose theirs. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Make sure to check out my locals. There's a link in the description. It's a fun community that I'm trying to build over here. If you don't want to support me on YouTube, you can come over here. None of that money goes to YouTube. You also can just come over here for free. But if you are a supporter over here, I do plan on doing an extra live stream once a month and throwing links to the supporters so you can actually come on and have a supporter live stream with me. Also, it's a good place to catch all of my content. You don't have to worry about notifications like YouTube. They'll definitely work over here. So come check out my locals.